thousands of you guys are sharing this story on your Facebook page, a story we posted on HLNTV.com. So 12 military dogs served in Afghanistan and Iraq. Their jobs were to detect explosives to help protect our men and women in uniform. Now, once their mission was over, the Department of Defense handed them over to a private contractor. Some of these dogs suffered from PTSD. Others sustained injuries, and more than half of them were on Prozac. Last year, these 12 warriors were sent to Greg Meredith for rehab. Now, here's the part that made many of you on Facebook angry. After 15 weeks, the contractors who hired Greg told him the dogs were too old and that he needed to dispose of them. But Greg refused and instead made the decision to find each one of the dogs' original handlers and reunite them. So far, he has reunited 10 of the dogs. That means 2 are left. And he created a GoFundMe page to help pay for the expenses. With us via Skype is Greg Meredith. Greg, thank you so much for being here. A lot of people were shocked that the DoD does not have a better plan for the dogs after they serve. How is that?
They really do not have an exit strategy, and it's been for 15 months, not 15 weeks. So it's been a long and arduous task, but now we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. There's 10 handlers located out of 12, and we're confident that we can find the other 2.
Yeah, that's fantastic that you've already gotten 10 reunited. Karen Nina tweeted this. She said, "I'd like to adopt this guy. Gellick's face speaks to me. If you don't find his handler, I want him. Please contact me." But not everybody can adopt these dogs. These dogs are special. They've dealt with issues from serving. How are you reuniting these dogs with their handlers? What's the process?
The process is they brought them here initially for the rehab to be reprogrammed so they could go out on another mission, which never materialized from the contractors. And then they did tell us to dispose of the dogs after 15 months that they had already replaced them because they become too old. What we did was rehab these dogs. They're well adjusted. They can go back to work, or they can go back to their handlers. They just can't go back to everybody's home. Yes, they're cute and fuzzy and everything, but these dogs are highly trained. Some are highly aggressive, and they're very active, and they need constant work, and they're not for the everyday person that comes in. That's why it's important for us to find the handlers that know the idiosyncrasies of these dogs first and foremost.
And Greg, to be clear, it wasn't the DoD that asked you to dispose of the dogs. It was the contractors the DoD hired. But people want to know, how can they help? You have 2 dogs left. I know you said you had a GoFundMe page. How can they help?
They can help us by going to the GoFundMe, which is Mount Hope Canine Warrior Rescue. But none of this would be possible, and none of these dogs would be going home to their handlers if it wasn't for Mission Canine and also the help of U.S. War Dogs. And Ron Aiello and Chris have done a marvelous job of locating their handlers. And none of this would have been possible if not for those 2 individuals and their organizations.
Well, Greg Meredith, we appreciate your work for sure, and we know it's been very stressful for you with all the mounting expenses, but I sure hope you get those 2 other dogs adopted. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Have a good day.
You too. Ollie?
Those dogs are war heroes just like anyone else.
Absolutely.
When they go out there. They should be treated like veterans, and they should be honored and recognized, not
Absolutely.
disposed of. That's awful.